this video is going to be for new gun owners. If you're thinking about buying a gun for the first time, or you have a gun and you're like, well, I can't really get out to the range that often, here are some things that you can do at home safely with an unloaded firearm to get comfortable with your gun, so that when you come out to the range, right? Now, today I'm here by myself, there's nobody around. Typically there might be other people around here, and right, as other shooters, right, we don't want to be looking over and seeing somebody, with a gun in their hand and just, fumbling with it, maybe pointing it in the wrong direction, trying to manipulate the slide, trying to figure out, oh, well, I thought the guy said, to do this, and I'm not really sure. Number one, get trained, whether it's with me or someone else. Find someone that will teach you how to use the gun safely, not a 5-minute lesson in a gun store where, and I know a lot of people that own gun stores, they're all good people, but they're not gonna spend the time with you that a qualified instructor will spend with you. So what can we do at home, and how do we do that? Well, number one, we always wanna practice with an unloaded firearm. So this gun here, I loaded it just a little while ago, so it's loaded. So the first thing I'm gonna do is make sure it's safe and unload it. I'm gonna drop the magazine, right? We always remove the source of ammunition first. Second thing, I wanna make sure that there's nothing in the chamber. Oh, there was. Now the gun, right, we're gonna check. I'm gonna look down the mag well, stick my pinky in here, make sure there's nothing in the chamber. Right, and what I'll do, we'll rack it a couple of times, 2, 3, 4, 5, make sure that gun is unloaded. Okay, I'm gonna safely stick it into my holster for right now. All right, here, this magazine, okay, it's for my Glock. It is loaded with what we call snap caps. This is not real ammunition. However, right, again, what do we always make sure? Let's make sure that it's empty, that we're working with an empty magazine first. Here in my hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snap caps. This is not real ammunition. Again, it's good to practice with. So, one of the things that we learn how to practice, and I see this all the time, right? Learn how to load your magazines. It's important. Don't come out to the range and be like, oh, which way does it go again? You want to make sure that you're going to load them properly. Right, so we're just going to take these. I'm going to load them into the mag, one at a time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have 5 snap caps loaded into my magazine. And now I'm gonna practice, right? Loading, putting the gun into battery, unloading, right? It may sound simple. Oh, don't worry about it. I know how to do that. This is where accidents happen. You wanna become familiar with it. You wanna get good at doing the basics, right? What did I talk about in one of my earlier videos, right? I'm not here to show you how good I am or how fast I can load a gun. I'm here to show you the basics, firearm safety, and learning how to be safe with your gun. Okay, I'm gonna take that empty magazine. I'm gonna take my gun out of my holster, right? I know it's unloaded, but what am I gonna do, right? I'm just gonna check, okay, it's unloaded. Gonna make sure, lock the slide back, again, check. Yep, still unloaded. All right. First thing I'm gonna do, right? I wanna learn how to put the magazine into the mag well. Don't be afraid to give it a nice, you don't have to overkill, but just give it a nice tap. Make sure it's seated. This gun is made, it's not gonna break, okay? Don't be afraid to give it a nice tap. Now, I wanna learn how to put the gun into battery. How do I do that? Well, the way that it's set up here, right? I have to manipulate the slide. I have to, what we call rack the slide. How do I do that? Well, there's a couple of ways to do it. Number one, I could just stand here, right? My gun pointed down range, back, and let it go, okay? Don't hold on to it. That's called riding the slide. You could potentially not put the gun in battery and it may not fire. So now there's a snap cap in battery, right? So if I want to, I can point it at a target, click, right? Trigger I depress the trigger, but unfortunately with working with snap caps, right, the gun doesn't cycle on its own. We have to manually cycle it. So again, I would have to rack the slide. It's going to eject. I'm going to let it go, and now I have another one in battery. Again, right, I can get in my good stance, my good grip, and engage with the trigger. Now, not every gun is easy to manipulate the slide, so there's a couple of different things that we can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the source of ammunition. I'm going to rack the slide, right? Now, the other way to do it, keep the action open, right? Stick the magazine. I still have one of my snap caps. I think there's 2 or 3 in there now. Now, how do I engage the slide now if I don't want to use that method of racking the slide? So now it's open. All I have to do is close it. So I can do what I did before, just pull it back and it'll engage, okay? Or what I can do, again, I'm going to keep the action open. Take my magazine, put it back in, and before I go ahead any further, I'm going to move this camera so you can see the other side. Just make sure you'll be able to see me, okay? All right, so the magazine is in, the action is open. As far as I know, every semi-automatic has one of these. If it doesn't, I apologize. I can't say that I know every gun that's made. See this right here? That's a release. So what I can do is I can use that to put the gun into battery. And I'm just holding it like that just so you can see. That's not the proper way to engage it, but I just wanted you to see. And I could just do this, and now the gun is in battery.